Hey guys, in this video I'm just going to go over my level 100 Pulverize Bear Druid guy before I respec him, so I'm just going to log all this stuff, so I'll just go over the whole character. So gear, Vasilis, this makes all your earth skills into werebearer skills, gives you a bunch of fortify stuff in life, pretty good. I found like 6 or 7 of these, it's pretty common. Same thing with the chest, about 6 or 7 of these also. Has decent stats, gives you +3 ranks to all werebearer skills when you 5-star it, when you get up rank 5. Even though it doesn't say that, it does. Werebearer form armor and fortify is really good, so it has decent stats on it too. Gloves, basically you want to make your pulverize into an earth skill. And then, you get your pulverize ranks, your crit chance, your attack speed. Crit injured isn't necessary, you can have whatever else you want on that 4th stat. Earth and Bulwark, +6 seconds. Earth and Bulwark makes you unstoppable, so this helps you pretty much have close to 100% uptime on your unstoppable, pretty important. Just a bunch of DR type stuff is what you want on the pants. Werebearer armor can also roll on pants, which is very good. I never got it, but werebearer armor, fortified DR, just generic DRs, all that stuff is really good. So those are pants. Boots, earth skills, CC enemies, basically, and our earth skills are werebearer skills, so all of my abilities pretty much CC enemies, which will proc a bunch of our stuff. So I'll show that later, but spirit cost reduction, super important, and then a bunch of movement speed stuff is very important because Bearman is pretty slow. Pulverize power, I got like 20 of these to drop, they're pretty common. You can also gamble them from like totems if you're just specifically looking from that, from obols pretty early in game. Basically makes your pulverize almost off screen, pretty much off screens. It's pretty crazy how giant the AoE is, and it gives it a lot of damage, very important. Amulet, mostly you just want spirit cost reduction, everything else is kind of extra, but there's a lot of good stuff that spawns here. Werebearer armor, DR, movement speed, and then +3 passives. There's a bunch of good passives, like this one's like +12% damage, so that's good. And then, I never actually got a high roll of this power, but it's core skills deal extra damage based on your amount of fortify, and you're pretty much always capped on your fortify, so it's going to give you pretty much the full value of what it says, so very important mod. Then, rings, umbral. This thing's annoying. Open ring boxes from Helltide or gamble them from mobiles or just get lucky. And, we're CCing with the boots and all this other stuff. So everything we do pretty much CC, so we're getting a lot of resource from that. There's some real resource gen on rings if you really want to, or more earth, like crit damage instead of life, stuff like that. Grizzly Rage is extended by 5 seconds, pretty good power. This power might get nerfed, and that crit damage can stack up to even like 1000%, I believe it caps out, but I don't actually think this power is that important, even though you can potentially see some pretty crazy damage numbers, but I don't think it's actually that relevant. You could use like the crit damage, earth skills, power, I forget what it's called, instead of this. But I played the Grizzly Rage setup, it gives you unstoppable while you're in Grizzly Rage, so it's really nice to have pretty much 100% uptime on your unstoppable. And then Spirit Boons, damage reduction to elites, and then crit damage. You can double this with, you could also get the crit chance if you spirit bomb this one. Both of these is good, but instead I did fortify on the defense, and then I synergized with the Grizzly Rage power, so lots of stuff for your ultimate, which is Grizzly Rage. You could also use this instead on the last line. This is what I used pretty early, but then eventually I switched and just went all in on the Grizzly Rage stuff, so you don't have to do that. I don't even think it's that important, but, that's what I did. Skills. Normally you'd use Storm Strike pretty early until you get Vasilis, then you'd use Earth Spike, which is a range attack, which is nice for generating your spirit. Pulverize, our main skill, overpowers, and then damage reduction with Pulverize, pretty good stuff. Wild Impulses is the most damage, I believe. If you get it on an amulet, it's 5% per point, but it costs a little bit more spirit. Generate more spirit, and then crit chance, close enemies, more damage reduction while in bear form. Earth and Bulwark, pretty much unstoppable. Lots of unstoppable juice from this. You don't actually have to get this last point, but I have it for more consistent fortify stuff. You don't even need debilitating roar, but I used it with this last outline here. It gives you this will proc your umbral for more resource generation if you need it. You don't even need either of these points, I just have one in each. You could actually run like Cyclone Armor or Hurricane instead of Debilitating Roar if you want to, because you're really tanky, you don't even need this to be honest, but I used it. Let's see here. Provocation gives you a bunch of overpower werebearer stuff. Trample, this breaks all CC, it gives you unstoppable, so if you in like a oh shit, it's also kind of a mobility skill, help you move around. It actually does a little bit of damage too, especially early. Gives you some spirit. Because our Vasilis, our bear stuff is all like Earth skills also, so you get a bunch of this stuff. Extra damage to CC'd stuff. This will help top your Fortify off. And then this will give you extra damage while you have Fortify. Nature damage skills to elites, and Pulverize is a nature magic skill. So, bunch extra damage here, bunch extra damage here, and a little bit extra damage here. Like if you're running, say, like Hurricane, for example, I believe this would it's a storm skill, so it would actually proc this. But even just like the extra 6% damage, even without using any storm skill, is kind of worth it. So I just put 3 points here anyway. But if you did, for example, use Hurricane or something else like Cyclone armor, you could further, you know, pump your damage from that a little bit. And then if Grizzly Rage stuff here, down here, gives you unstoppable, makes you really tanky, and you get some extra damage bonus. And obviously the Ring gives it more crit damage stuff. Also helps generate a lot of Fortify. Pretty good stuff. I didn't take any of this extra Fortify stuff in the sign. I don't think you need it. And then there's a couple of choices here. I just actually went with Earth Sign Strength. I saw almost everybody recommending I play Earth and Might, but I don't think it's even like that necessary. Yeah, you crit all the time once in a while, but I'd rather just have a consistent 30% more damage. Also, you get even more tanky juice for the bear. But you can go either or, whatever you like more. Both are good for sure. But I just went with Earth Sign Strength for the extra consistent everything. What else we got? Paragons. I'll go over my Paragons. Like I said, I'm probably respecting this character, so I just want to kind of log everything. We got Vulnerable here, or Exploit, whatever here. Just kind of went through. I didn't even take this 1-point node for the stuff. You could, but I don't think it's that crazy value. Then here we got the, what is this? Outmatch, gives you a lot of extra damage to bosses. Also, I specifically put this one here to further buff up this Werebear armor stuff. I'm just slightly under armor cap. It's like 9k-ish at level 100. I'm just like slightly under, so getting a lot of that armor stuff. Armor is very good mileage on the bear. Try to get close to 9k armor, or, you know, just slightly over 9k armor is really good. And I also took the Survival Instincts, which makes your bear do more damage relative to the enemy's HP. Some Fortify stuff. This board is Inner Beast. I would say early on, you're going to want this last board as probably your second board, because it gives you a lot of sustained stuff. But eventually I spec'd it out, but that used to be, this last board here, this, what's it called? Ancestral Guidance board used to be my first board right here. But later I spec'd it and switched it, because it's less efficient, or more efficient this way. But here we got the Spirit, gives you crit damage with your Pulverize. There's so much good stuff in here. So, you know, lots of armor, lots of crit, lots of just armor, crit, generic damage type stuff. Earth and Devastation is the board here. Gives you extra damage to CC enemies. Pretty good. Again, more armor stuff. I took this one for, what is this, Werebear. Lots of willpower, juice, gives you some DR. My stats were a little bit better. I could get more of these powers, but it's not that big of a deal. I just use this to level to 100. I'm not like super min-maxing it. There's probably some more efficiency, like stuff you could do. This is just what I did. Kind of somewhat winging it, but it should be a pretty good setup. This board is Constricting Tendrils. You could actually take this node, but I don't think it's that worth it. It's kind of far away too. But you could like actually go like this, and then like take that if you wanted to. Like this, these nodes over here are pretty good for just like raw damage if you want more damage, but I didn't find I needed much more damage for just like running Nightmare Dungeons to level. So this is what, Fang and Claw, buffs all the magic nodes, you get a bunch of extra life, some extra damage. And then this last board here, I don't even take the glyph, I just want this Ancestral Guidance, which makes you do 30% more damage after, you know, spending some juice. Like I said, normally this should probably be your second board, gives you a lot of Spirit on Kill, and the Spirit on Kill is really, really good. You're going to be chugging through your Spirit really fast, spamming Pulverizes. So this, though, in general, I would say Spirit on Kill and Umbral is pretty much going to sustain your character. And what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the Bear Druid, if anybody gives a crap about the Bear Druid. Kind of fun, but it's time to respec this guy, so I'll probably play some Werewolf Druid type stuff. But that is the Bear ban. Thanks for watching.